Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be with you all. Thank you all for being here. I am the co-founder and CEO of VALR, VALR.com, as mentioned. And it's a great delight for me to be here in Singapore to share the stage with all of you, to be here to really tell you a little bit about who we are, where we're from, where we're going, not just as a company, but as an ecosystem and as a world. I think there's a lot of focus whenever we come to these conferences to be talking a little bit about the technology or how much money people are making or metrics, but there is not enough attention that's paid to why we're doing this, where we're going, to what end. And so I'm going to speak to you a little bit about our hopes and aspirations as VALR, as a community of now nearly a million people around the world that are our customers, and over 1,000 institutions that we serve globally. So VALR is a crypto exchange based and headquartered in Johannesburg, but a global exchange now that is serving customers from all around the world. We offer over 90 different assets. We have the largest selection on the African continent. We're serving clients within the corridor between Africa and Asia, and we're fully licensed in South Africa. We've got the approval to serve the crypto asset space from the Ministry of Poland, and we've got initial approval from VARA, the Virtual Asset Regulator Authority in Dubai. A little bit about me, about why we started this. So I grew up in Kenya in Africa, and every year I used to go with my family to the United States to visit my grandparents. And there was a huge contrast between the reality on the ground in Africa and the life that was being lived in the United States of America, namely Los Angeles. And this dichotomy always felt very strange to me. We're living in one world, yet the differences in lifestyle, the differences in opportunity, the differences in infrastructure, the differences in the ability to access finance was so very different in where I grew up, Nairobi, Kenya, and Los Angeles. So I studied in California, studied economics, tried to understand what this world is all about. Went into consulting with Deloitte and McKinsey, went to McKinsey in South Africa. That's what took me initially to South Africa, really to understand the world, the corporate world and the finance world. And then I deepened my understanding of the finance world by going and joining the largest investment bank in Africa for about 6 years, where I spent a lot of time in global markets, investment banking, private equity, global markets and group treasury, just to really understand what this world is about. And there were a few things that stood out. Number one is that finance is very, very siloed. And very few people have an understanding of how our entire financial system works. They're very specialized in their own fields, but very little attention is paid to the infrastructure, the way our financial system works, the frictions in our entire system, to actually create a service that will actually help humanity. So based on this background, myself and my co-founder started VALR in 2018. We're 6.5 years old right now. We didn't do any marketing for the first 4 years, really because we were just trying to build the best product that we possibly can. It gives me great pleasure to be a platinum sponsor here at TOKEN2049 now, to really have our name in the lights, because we have a product now that we're very proud to bring to the world. Our million-strong customers have told us that our API and our service through our technology is on par with the best of the world. So this excitement of where we are and where we've come from is the beginning of our journey from Johannesburg to the world. We're now spending a lot of time, we've got a lot of team members in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Malaysia, in East Asia, in Europe, and in the West as well. And really, this is based on our belief that we need to move towards a more unified world. And if you look at our current financial system, it is very, very fragmented. And when you look at how we deal with FX as an example, or even how we look at the very concept of money, money being something that's very tied to our identity as a human race, you see that the identity level is really on the national level or a regional level. But the world has moved on with the internet, with everybody over here that's come and flown in from all over the world. Really, we're living in a world that does truly recognize the oneness of the human race. Our politics, our institutions, our infrastructure haven't quite caught up. And so that's what drives us at VALR, to really ensure that we're building a system for the benefit of humanity and for with the recognition of the oneness of the human race. Now, I had a conversation at our stand, and I encourage you to come and see us, pay a little visit to us, to chat to us more in the back by the speakers lounge. But I was talking to someone yesterday, a former employee, and he said to me, you know, Farzam, where I am is great, but we have got a lot of insight into what other exchanges are doing around the world. And his words to me were, VALR is too moral. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, if you look at some of the biggest players in the world right now, the things that they are doing behind the scenes are not what is actually happening before our eyes. And so what I mean by that is, we used to talk about wash trading in the industry a long time ago, where people would inflate their volumes in a way that was not representative of reality. A couple of years ago, I had a conversation with someone that started to try to sell me a product called volume generation. Again, trying to inflate the value of the trading volume on a platform that is not representative of reality. This individual yesterday was talking to me about this concept of chart maintenance, which is required from some of the largest exchanges in the world to ensure that people are trading more than they necessarily need to, but to have the appearance of activity. At VALR, I'm very, very proud to say that from day one, we've never done a cent, a Satoshi, of any wash trading, of any volume generation, of any kind of chart maintenance. And the reason is, we believe we owe it to you to be completely transparent so that you can decide where you want to trade. You understand exactly who we are and what we are. And I invite you to come onto our platform, to sign up at VALR, and you'll see some of the deepest markets in the world. We are the largest rand to crypto market in the world. Players like Binance are also in our market. We're about 20 times the size of Binance in South Africa. A lot of the international exchanges are in South Africa. But you'll see some of the deepest markets, but you'll also see some markets that are very immature or more shallow. And we're bringing more liquidity by inviting our customers, by inviting market makers. But it's critical to us to ensure that our value set never gets compromised. And I encourage all of you in your interactions in this space, whether you're customers or you're builders, to really question your values. Because it's very, very easy in the world that we're living in right now to get caught up in all the hype and the lights and to try to look like you're doing something that's amazing when it not really is. But that's not fair to others. It's not fair to yourself. And it's not fair to the world. So what we're trying to really do is to ensure that we bring a product that is world-class, but is representative of reality. VALR, the name VALR, comes from the word values, which really underpins who we are. It comes from value, which is things that we trade. And we got rid of the O and the U to say that we're actually not American or English with the spelling, but we're actually VALR for the world. So it's really important for us to have a really solid foundation of values with a vision of creating this oneness of humanity, this world that we deserve as a human race. If you take a step back and look at all the challenges that we have, there are tremendous amounts of conflict around the world. There's a tremendous amount of disunity. The United States elections are coming up. I spend a lot of my time in the United States between the US and South Africa. And the divisiveness that we're creating in the world is really eating at the core of society. And so as VALR, I really invite you to come and join us to share in this vision of values, to share in this vision of building a world that is truthful, that is transparent, We really believe in sharing values, not just in our ethics, but also in what we do. So we run a lot of different campaigns where the way we actually got on, we're the largest player in South Africa by a large margin right now. And the way we did that is we were one of the first exchanges to offer negative maker fees on the spot markets. So as we earn, we pay our customers. And right now, we've just launched perpetual futures. We started with a spot market, spot margin. We've just launched perpetual futures. And right now, we're paying out up to $5 million, depending on the volume, for our highest traders to incentivize people to come, because that's the only way, truthfully, that will get the largest traders in the world to come to us, that are already coming to us, to share that value, to build the liquidity, to build the deep markets, so that we can together go and offer a service to the world that is worthy of the integrity of our customers around the world. So with that, I want to thank you all for coming. I would like to invite you to join VALR, VALR.com. I'd like to invite you to come to our lounge to talk to us. And one of the biggest things I'd love for you to take away is this concept and idea of unity. It really does a disservice for all of us when we talk about the crypto space versus TradFi and how we're battling each other. At VALR, we welcome anybody and everybody that wants to serve humanity to work with us, whatever you call yourself, so that we can provide a better financial system, a better financial infrastructure for the world. We deserve better. The world deserves better. Join us in that mission. It's been a great pleasure to spend a little bit of time with you this morning. Thank you so much for your attention.